Okay, I'm going to demo the Crumar Multiman S string machine synthesizer. That's for sale on eBay. Uh, I'm not a keyboard player, I'm not a synth player, so this is strictly to show that the keyboard is functioning and all of the different presets and sounds that you can get from it. Starting off with bass, but I do have it turned down fairly low because there's a baby sleeping in the building and in the apartment building, and it rumbles, literally rumbles the entire building if you turn it up. So even at this volume, it is rumbling. Not sure that that's going to get picked up on the camera very well, but hopefully you can hear. At this point is the split between left-hand volume control and right-hand volume control. So you have two different control panels here. One is for the left-hand volume, one is for the right-hand volume. Bass only works up to this left-hand, right-hand split. So you can't play bass above this point. So that was the bass control. Now I can turn it up a little bit louder for the other sounds because they don't rumble as much. So the controls you have are master, bass, is what we just listened to, piano, volume right here. And the cool thing about the Crumar is that you can mix and match all of these different sounds together. So you've got bass, piano, brass, left and right hand, piano, left and right hand, clavichord, left and right hand, cello and violin, left and right hand. Next you have the brass filter, which controls the filter, attack, decay, emphasis, and contour for both the left hand and right hand brass. Then you have the left hand volume controls for brass, piano, clavichord, cello, violin. Then your string timbre goes from mellow to bright. That I believe that only works with the cello and violin, which makes sense. It's for strings. And then right hand controls, which is exactly like the left hand: brass, piano, clavichord, cello, violin. We have vibrato control up here, speed and depth, and then sustain length here. So for now I'm going to keep the vibrato off, the sustain length all the way down. And the switches in the front are what turn off and on the separate sounds. And then each sound has a volume control as well. So not only can you turn on separate sounds, but you can mix them in interesting ways. So let's start first with brass, and I'm going to go ahead and test the left hand and right hand of both so that you just get an idea of the whole entire keyboard. So I've got the volumes on 10 for the brass. Right now the brass filter control is set to be controlled by pedal. You can either have it controlled by a pedal or manual. When it's set to manual, you use these controls. When it's set to pedal, you can use like a pedal to control it, like an expression pedal. I'm going to set it to pedal, but I don't have a pedal plugged in right now, so it's just going to be basically defeating the brass filter right now. So that's brass left and right hand. It's all the way up. Well, before I switch off the brass, let's hear what the filter can do. You can set the attack and decays differently. So with the attack all the way up, the decay all the way up. So it hits slower and then it decays slower. Put them down. It's very quick. The emphasis. And then the contour. So you can get that sort of wow kind of sound. Kind of cool. And then you can sweep the filter too. And then with the emphasis, you can control how it's swept. So that's kind of cool. Turn the brass off. Piano on now, left and right hand. Obviously, works all the way up. Okay, that was piano, clavichord. Actually, the piano wasn't turned all the way up. There it is. Okay, clavichord. With the clavichord, I usually like to leave the bass on because it's a little thin without it. Okay, and you can have the bass on with any of these as well, just to add some strength. But I'm going to leave it off for now so you can hear the actual sounds. Cello now. Cello with bass. Okay. Violin. With bass. Okay. And then again, the string timbre works with the cello and violin. So for instance, if you have the cello on, make it a little mellow or bright. Okay. Now I'm going to turn on the vibrato, and let's use that with the cello sound. Might be a little difficult to hear. Let's use it with the clavichord. There, you can hear it a lot better there. Or with the piano, maybe? Okay. And now sustain. obviously just makes the notes sustain longer so you don't have to hold them down. So with the sustain down and the cello on, you get this. Turn the sustain up a little bit. That's halfway up and then all the way up. Now we can do some mixing between some cello and violin, piano, whatever you want to do. Let's mix some piano with some strings. I generally prefer the cello to the violin tone, so I keep the violin tone a little bit down. Let's try that. So you got to turn them all on, what you want to use. Let's also use some vibrato. And we'll keep the sustain up a little bit. Turn the piano off. Let's mix the cello and violin evenly and add some brass in there. Now with the brass filter on, and the strings just barely in the background. Let's try that. To get the filter to respond, if you're holding down another note and you're hitting other notes, the filter has already filtered through. So until you release all the notes and play another, the filter won't kick in. It's just the way it's made. So for instance, when I hold down two notes, we hear the brass filter. Then when I play the next one, you don't hear the filter. But if you play it like this, you do hear the filter. So just the way it is. Yeah, let's just turn everything on, see what kind of mixing we can get out of here. That's a really cool sound. You get the attack of the brass, but then you have the sustaining cello and violin behind, sort of adding that pad effect. And with the string timbre turned down, it's not too in your face. See, right there I was still holding this note down so we don't hear the brass attack. And it is completely, yeah, whatever you call it. You can play all the notes at once. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, it does have a pitch control on the front here. Goes up, looks like it goes up a fourth, maybe a third. Goes up a third. Yep, seems to be it. All the sliders work, all the switches work, all the keys work. On the back, it does have separate outs for the left, or the brass, and for the piano bass, and then the brass, so you can actually mix those to different outputs if you want. Right now I'm just plugged into the main output, which is mixing everything together. It does also come with the sustain pedal, the matching sustain pedal, which I'll show now. It has a sustain button and also a volume control. So for instance, got your cellos on, cello and violin on. So now I've turned down the sustain here. Actually, let me show you with the piano. So piano, but if you hold down the sustain button, it sustains. Surprise. And then of course you can use the volume control too. Yep, and yeah, the the pedal just looks like that. So you have volume here, and then sustain button here. Yep. So that's it. Available on eBay. Thanks for watching.